here to talk to you guys. I actually used to be a middle school teacher. Before I was a middle school teacher, I was a teenager, and before that, I was a child. Now, what I do now is I go to schools, and I speak to students. I guess you call them youth motivational speaker. And also, I am a professional freestyle rapper. So, we're going to start by having a little bit of fun. Now, all my people up in the front, I need you to participate. What I need you to do is have something in your hand. Whatever you have in your hand, I'm going to have to rap about. Please don't hand me an apple, please. Thank you. All right? So whatever it is you got, I got to rap about it. That's it. Yo, I'm on the mic now. Who's going to understand? It's hype now. I'll come through and grab this man's white out. I'll put it all over your face and you'll have to do eyebrows. You don't understand my style. I'll just keep going off, flowing bosses. Don't understand. They tell me that I'm rap sick. I came through and grabbed this man's chapstick. I should put it on. No, I shouldn't. I'm on the microphone and I keep it cooking. And that's what I do with this freestyle. I'm a microphone debater. MCs don't understand. I grab the calculator. TI 81, Mini 85. That's what I say. I'm a crazy guy. His name is Noah C. You can flow with me. I'm sitting on the microphone, come with poetry. I spit freestyles off the top of the dome. And you don't understand. It's a popular poem when I'm rocking at home. I come through with a hammer, hit this girl with her own banana. Spit a freestyle. That's how it goes. I'm on the microphone and yo, I just hold a lot of dope rhymes up in my mind. I'm coming on the microphone. I want to hold it. No, it's a goldfish. I don't want it. You probably licked it. I'm on the microphone. I'm hitting it. I spit freestyle. You don't understand how I ripped it. I keep on coming. You don't understand. I took classes and I had to wear some bifocal glasses. These things are kind of sick. These things are kind of thick. I spit a freestyle and yo, I just rip. I keep on coming. You don't understand. Yo, I'm a debater. Like I said, I come through grabbing an eraser and a really small pencil. Grab the stencils. I spit freestyle and I'm mentally lost. That's what they tell me. They call me the boss. I spit freestyle. Call me Randy Moss. The way that I'm catching stage. Call me the rapping king. And that's what I do with this freestyles when I'm coming, running all the time, all up in your mind. And that's what I do with these freestyle flows. So if you don't know, then act like you know. Story begins in a North Korean prison camp. And when I was born, my mother, she looked at me. She said, my son, I want better for my son than this. And my mom, she used to be a former soccer star. She was also a really brilliant lady. Because she came up with this plan to get me out. My mom, she took me and she wrapped me up in blankets. And she wrapped me up in blankets, felt nice and thickly padded. She looked at those walls that were 30 feet high with barbed wire running all around. And she took me. She said a prayer. And then boom! I kicked over that fence and I fly over that barbed wire. And now here I am. True story. Maybe not. I know what y'all were thinking when you saw me. I know what you were thinking. You were thinking, this dude is about to go Gangnam Style. That's what you were thinking. Not gonna happen though. I watched that video, there's so much wrong with that video, I don't know where to start. I'm not gonna start. Now I go to a lot of high schools, and when I go to high schools and talk to kids, it reminds me of my high school years. It reminds me of my high school years and particularly dating back in high school. Now at my high school, I went to a really wealthy high school. So if you wanted a girlfriend, you had to have two things. You had to have a car, you had to have some money. And I remember this because I had no car, I had no money. I said to myself, how am I going to fix my situation? And I had this brilliant idea. I went out and got a job as the school bus driver. Oh yeah, I got my wheels, I'm picking up like 30 girls a day. All joking aside, they didn't bring me in to crack jokes, although I could all day, but I don't want to. Actually, I do, but we got some serious stuff to talk about. So, today I'm here to talk to you guys about your talents. Your talents. Now, raise your hand hand if you agree with this statement. Everybody in this room has a talent. Raise your hand if you agree with that. Okay, so most of you, some of you guys disagree. That's fine. Hopefully I can change your mind after this. Hopefully I can change your mind. Now, what you guys do here in high school, it's important. What you guys do here, it matters a lot. You know, you got educated, you had some experiences. This is an important part of your life. But one thing you need to understand is that most people don't find what they're good at while they're in high school. Most people don't find their talents. It doesn't mean they don't have a talent, it just means that they didn't find it yet. Now think about this for a second. An airline pilot, a chef, an entrepreneur, a television reporter. How are you going to find those talents while you're sitting in your English class or your biology class? You can't find those talents. Me, myself, I found out that I was a good speaker, but I found out when I was like in my mid-20s. It was a later time in my life. And if you're like most people, yeah, I'm older than 25, yes. I know, it's crazy. Got the baby face still, and it's Botox, it's all good. But I didn't find my talents until I was older, and that's what's going to be for you. I believe that every person has something that they're good at, maybe even great at. When I was a middle school teacher, I had a lot of kids that had learning disabilities. They were diagnosed special education. And it never ceased to amaze me when those kids would show brilliance and talent in something that they could go on and do in the future and make a living from. Never ceased to amaze me when those kids who had so much problems in my class just understanding some basic social studies stuff, and they showed brilliance in other classes. Never ceased to amaze me when those kids would shine. Everybody's good at something. See, when I was growing up, I actually thought I was really ordinary. I thought I was really ordinary and not talented, and there wasn't a whole lot that I was very good at. I was average at a lot of things. I was kind of good at some things, but nothing I shined at. And the only people who were telling me that I was anything special were my parents. Did your parents do that to you? I didn't. Not you. I'm kidding. But those were the only people telling me that. I remember back when I was in elementary school, I took this test to be in the advanced program. There were a lot of kids in that program. I took it, and my scores weren't good enough, and I didn't get in. And then in middle school, I was in pre-algebra. My grades started slipping. I got kicked down to regular math. And in high school, I took my SATs, and my scores came back, and they were average. So I thought I was average. I thought I was nothing special, no talent. And I am average in a lot of ways. But then when I was 17, I wrote my first rap. I was watching Snoop Dogg, and I didn't listen to Snoop Dogg. Anyways, I wrote my first rap. I was hanging out at my house with my buddy, and we were bored, and he was like, "Yo, I've been writing these raps." I was like, "Cool, man, let's write some raps." And so I wrote my first rhyme, and I looked at it, and I was like, "Hey, that's not bad." And then, I liked it, so I kept doing it. And at that time, we would go to these rap shows, these places where these rappers would get up on stage, and they would just be rapping, and it was amazing. And then they would start freestyling, and I was like, man, that is crazy. How did these guys do it? And it was so good that I didn't believe that they were actually freestyling. I said to myself, no way. They must have wrote that at home, and now they're just up there pretending like they're good. And then I tried freestyling myself. When I first started rapping, I was garbage. I was bad. I'd be like, "Yo, you don't understand. Yo, I'm the man." Then I get stuck. And then I keep trying to freestyle, and I kept getting stuck, and I kept stumbling through, and I wasn't very good. But I kept doing it. And I got a little better, and eventually I got to a point where I could do all the things that those guys were doing on stage. And I'm not sitting here telling y'all about how good I am. Honestly, I believe I may not be the most talented person in this room. But I tell y'all this because you need to understand that even if you have a talent, you still have to develop it in order to make it a skill. Even if you have raw potential, you still have to work at it and struggle through it in order to make it into something. That's what all great people do. Now, raise your hand if you have found your talent so far. Okay. Like 5 people. Awesome. I'll give you props for being brave enough to say so. Now, if you haven't found your talent yet, the reason why is because you need to discover your talents. You need to try different things in order to find what your talents are. And then when you try different things, you'll find them. See, think about this. Imagine a world where Steven Spielberg never picked up a video. Imagine a world where Steve Jobs never picked up a computer. Imagine a world where Amelia Earhart never got into the cockpit of an airplane. See, all of these people had to discover their talents, and you had to discover yours too. And the thing about it is there are gifts that are inside of you, but you need to go out and find them. But you also need to find what your passions are. Your passions are the things that burn inside of you. And I heard this quote about passions, and when I heard it, it spoke to me so much. It said, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. How many of you guys want a job when you grow up that you actually enjoy? Let me see a show of hands. Yeah. You should want a job that you enjoy. Work is supposed to be enjoyable. If you hate your job, if you don't like your job, if you don't love your job, you're doing something wrong. And what I challenge you guys to do is to find a job that you enjoy. Find work that you enjoy. And the way you find work you enjoy is to think about what you think about all the time. What do you think about all the time? What is it that brings you pleasure? See, if you think about putting colors and patterns and shapes together, maybe you should be a designer. If you sit there and you watch sports, and you don't just watch sports because it's fun to watch, but you watch sports and you analyze all the intricacies of the game and you just study it, maybe you should be a sports analyst. If you like to help people get better from their injuries, maybe you should become a physical therapist. And if you like a bunch of people staring at you, maybe you should be a public speaker. But you need to think about what it is that you're passionate about. Now, your passions are just like your talents, in the sense that you have to discover them. You have to try different things in order to find what your passions are. And you also need to listen to your heart. What is your heart saying? What is it that burns inside of you? What is it that makes you come alive? What is it that flows out of you that you can't even control, even if you try? See, for the past 10 years of my life, I've been thinking about becoming a motivational speaker. I sit there and I'm always coming up with these different messages and these different things that I want to tell young people, and I'm always thinking about all these things that I can share and different ways to share them. And because that's always flowing through me, I should become a motivational speaker, which I am. So listen to your heart. What is it saying? Now, some people have had like a significant experience in their life that has affected them deeply. I have a friend, actually, she was adopted. She was adopted, and she knew she was adopted her whole life because she didn't look like her family. I don't look like my family either. I don't know how that happened. But they're much less good looking. Anyway. I'm just kidding. Mom, Dad, I love you. But she was so deeply affected by her parents and the love that they have for her and the environment that they raised her in. And she said every kid who doesn't have a home should grow up in a family like mine. And so she got her degree, and she got her master's degree, and now she helps kids get into good homes that need adoption. I have other friends that have family members that have done drugs and alcohol and thrown their lives away from that stuff, and they sit there and they watch it and they say, you know what, this should never be. And so they go out and they work and help people to get off drugs or help people to not do drugs in the first place. What does your heart tell you? Now, besides the fact that you can actually enjoy your job, enjoy your work, and love it, your passions, if you follow them, they can actually develop your talents. Raise your hand if you believe that. Your passions can help you develop your talents. Well, it's like this. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life story after North Korea. So, when I was in high school and college, particularly in college, I remember I was in this public speaking class. All the freshmen were in this public speaking class, we had to take it. I remember looking at all my classmates and watching them speak. And I looked at myself and I said, man, very best, I'm average in this classroom. I remember going up in front of my classmates and being so nervous, and sweat pouring down my face, and me stuttering over my words, and me stumbling through my speech, and every single second up there felt like an hour. And after I was finally finished, I went and I sat down in my chair, and I felt so defeated. And I said to myself, how am I ever going to be a youth motivation speaker when I'm so bad at this? But my passion for my messaging, I couldn't contain it. I had to keep speaking. I had to keep going out there. So my passion helped me to go out there and fail and make a fool of myself and continue on. My passion helped me to work hard. My passion helped me to push through the pain. My passion helped me to brush myself off after every failure and try again. And every single failure, I learned something from it. Every single failure, I got a little bit better, and a little bit better, and a little bit better, and eventually people would come up to me and they'd be like, hey dude, you're a good speaker. And it makes me laugh because I'm like, man, you have no idea. You have no idea where I came from. And this is what I believe. I believe if you follow your passions can take you from bad to good, and even from good to great. That's what I believe. And I believe in life, actually I know this to be true, if you want to become successful in life, you have to be willing to fail. You have to be willing to fail over and over in order to become successful. If you want to be successful in life, you have to face your fears. No matter how scared you feel on the inside, you have to push through them anyways. See, I speak to a lot of older people, and whenever I speak to older people, I ask them questions. I ask them questions about how to be successful in life. I ask them questions about how to do this and how to do that because they have a lot of experience and I don't. And when I talk to older people, their number one regret is not that they tried something and that they failed. Their number one regret is that they had these desires, these passions, these dreams, these talents that they had, and they didn't go after them because they were afraid, because of things that happened to them in the past, because of whatever reason they held back. See, this world is full of wasted potential. This world is full of people who have so much to offer that don't go out and do anything with it. And I say to myself, when I look at those people, I say to myself, you know what? That's not going to be me. When I go out there in life, when it's all said and done, I'm going to say to myself, I did my best. I lived up to my potential. I followed my passions. I followed my dreams. I developed my talent. I'm going to look at myself in the mirror and say, I'm proud of you. And I challenge all of y'all to do the same. See, every single one of you can be your best. Every single one of you can live up to your potential. Every single one of you can go after the things that you desire. And at the end of it all, look yourself in the mirror and say, you did it. I'm proud of you. You went after your dreams. You became the person that you're always meant to be. See, I want to challenge every single one of y'all to go after your dreams. Whatever dreams you have, even if you don't have dreams yet, to start developing some. To not hold back, but to push forward. To not be driven by your fears, but be driven by your desires. And to go after things. And eventually become the person that you were always meant to be. Thank you. I don't know how much time we have. We got a couple minutes. If I have a question, quick question, I've got time for like maybe one question. 0 questions? Okay. Yeah.
How old are you?
How old am I? 49. Next question. I'm kidding. Anyways,